Hello, everyone. I hope that all of you are doing well. My name is Katarzyna Kubas. I'm ITTF Head of Development, and we in HPD are delighted to be with you today. It's our 41st ITTF High Performance and Development webinar, and today's topic is FEMpowering the table tennis family. But before we start, I want to introduce you to our webinar code. This webinar is recorded and will be uploaded on a YouTube channel in a few days. Also, there is a chat feature that you can use. And if you would like to leave your question to our today's panelists, please do it in the Q&A section. We will try to respond to as many as possible in the question and answer part of the webinar. Thank you very much for that. Over to the introduction to our today's guests from ITTF Foundation. Our dear colleagues, Karine Thiel, Field Programs Manager. Hi, Karine. And Julia Tappendorf, Global Programs and Operations Coordinator.
Hi, everyone.
Thank you very much for taking the time and joining us for this webinar. We are so pleased to have you. And if
thanks for having us.
Thank you. If it comes to today's topic, word FEMpowering, or maybe to be more precise, FEMpowerment, should be already quite familiar to all of us. And why? It's the theme of this year World Table Tennis Day. And our colleagues from ITTF Foundation put every effort to make this day memorable, but also socially inclusive. And we in HPD are strongly supporting it. And therefore, we really look forward for today's webinar and learn how ITTF Foundation is using table tennis as a tool for development and peace. What World Table Tennis Day is all about, and also more about this year theme. Last but not least, I would like to introduce you my colleague, Dora Yeller, ITTF HPD Head of Operations. So passing to you, Dora.
Thank you, Kesha, and also from me, a very warm welcome. Yes, I hope you enjoyed today's webinar. And again, thank you, Julia and Karine, for being here. We really appreciate it. We will have a few polls during the webinar, so keep an eye on that. Some of them you will be prompted to do by Karine and Julia, but some of them you'll have to check for yourself. So just keep an eye on those there on the right-hand side of the screen. And I think, Karine, the floor is yours. I think you are muted. 1 second.
No, don't unmute.
No, we cannot hear you.
Then okay, I unmute myself.
Sorry. Can you hear me now? Thanks. Good. Okay, just sorry, really quick. We're trying to fix this presentation and then we're with you. But thanks a lot for joining. It's okay. Do this, but I need a presentation. 2 seconds, we're nearly there.
No rush.
Everyone is doing really well. See anyone anymore? I hope you can see my screen. No, you cannot see my screen.
Not yet,
okay.
no.
So, yeah, I don't know how to get. That's okay. It's okay. I'll share it like this. Up.
Perfect.
Can you see my screen?
That's pretty good.
Okay,
Yes,
sorry.
perfect.
Started off with
Thank
a
you
little bit
very
of
much.
suspense. Hi everyone, thanks a lot and welcome to the webinar. It's really nice to do a collaboration with others, even though we're far away and we haven't been able to see each other this year. So it's really nice to work together with HPD on this. So to start off with, I will just do a short introduction on the foundation, and then it will be open for Q&A on specifically what I've presented and if anyone has any specific questions on this. And then you'll pass to the topic more, you'll go into the topic of the webinar, which is on FEMpowering and World Table Tennis Day, which is most likely why everyone's logged on today. A quick introduction for those who are not so familiar with the foundation. I'll go really briefly, just 10 minutes, on what we do with the foundation. So our motto is solidarity through table tennis, and it really guides everything we do. And we have many programs, so bear with me as I explain it, and keep your questions for the end of the presentation. So the vision is to make table tennis a world leader and role model in positive social change through sport. So we're really positioning table tennis as something that is part of the community that can help the community. It's what we want to, or what we strive to do in our daily work, is to use table tennis as a tool for development and peace, to connect people all over the world through table tennis and in the field. We try to empower and support pilots to serve as models and good practices, and ultimately make table tennis popular, universal, and inclusive. But we're really a new organization or structure, registered only 2 years ago in 2019, with and even though we're new, we also inherit quite a lot of history within ITTF. So it's really a foundation that grew from ITTF. So between so in the past, it was really mixed with HPD, the development department, and educational training department, which merged into the development of table tennis and education and training, which is HPD at the minute, and the foundation, which is only taking care of more what people can understand more maybe as CSR or development, but not of the sport, of sustainable development goals. Really on the social side. So our focus is really things on improving the well-being of people, focusing on the UN SDGs. And one of the things that really drives what we do in all the projects is that we really believe that people who make changes are not just big political leaders. Even a single person can make a change in this world. So we really have programs for a lot of different people, and we try and target these programs to the widest spectrum as possible. And we do this through different programs, and that's why we have such a range of programs. So what do we do concretely? One of the programs we have is the Dream Building program. So supporting humanitarian projects using table tennis for positive social outcomes. So that's really projects we have that are taking place in the field. And we have the Dream Building Fund, so that's supporting projects in the field. We have the next call coming up mid-year this year, so in June, July. Dream Building with Refugees, where we work with refugees in the camp and in integration in host communities. Emergency Relief Fund for national associations, pilot projects where we want to explore different topics. So those are really things that are happening on the ground. Then we have TT for All, which is the topic we're going to focus on today with Yulia. And this is making table tennis accessible actively disadvantaged groups, and again, making table tennis popular, universal, and inclusive. So within TT for All, we have World Table Tennis Day, which is the big topic today. And for those who still didn't catch on, it's on April 6th, coming up right up. We have Tables for All, which is the new, let's say, the new baby of the foundation, supported, and we're working together with Pink Sans Frontières on this. And the idea is really that to democratize all the equipment that we have, because it's one of the big barriers to table tennis at the minute that we've felt from our projects. TT Fun Lab, which is more of a pilot projects here in Leipzig so far. And then we have EU projects, one with Tafisa, where we partner with different partners who want to work on sport for all. TT for Health. So this is focused on the benefits of table tennis on the social and mental physical well-being. And here, one of the most recent and common activity that we did during COVID, and one of the biggest responses we've had to COVID, was the creation of TT United. There was a donation campaign going across the ITTF group. And so this was to support anyone really that is facing big challenges due to COVID. So this was one of the things we did in a very challenging year for a lot of people, including table tennis. And all sports really felt this, I think. And I think it was really nice to be part of something that we could offer people during these challenging times. So Table Tennis United is not something that we had previously, but it was more of a response to the current situation. But within TT for Health, we have Parkinson World Table Tennis Championship and other pilot projects like Pink for Alzheimer's, Spirit Project, which is about well-being and promoting well-being through coaching, and TT at Work, rather recent initiatives. Then we have ping pong diplomacy, which is something we will work on more this year. It's about promoting peaceful behavior among diverse individuals, groups, regions, or nations through table tennis. And so historically, I think everyone's heard of ping pong diplomacy, one of the most famous events between China and the US. And this year, 2021, will be the 50th anniversary of ping pong diplomacy. So this year, you can the ITTF group. That will be one of the highlights of this year as well. So you'll hear more from this program this year. And then last but not least, the TT Legacy, which is leaving a positive social legacy of table tennis events in host locations. This is a program that is really growing at the minute. Behind the scenes, it's not something where we have many activities, but there's quite a lot of work going on. So Buenos Aires saw TT Legacy in the past, and we've learned from that and decided to head towards a more sustainability direction. So it's not just about what we leave behind, but just in general how we design our programs and how we have an impact on people, planet, and future. And we're all part of this. So one of the things is that everyone really from the table tennis community has a role to play, and athletes are already part of this, which is why the Athlete Emergency Fund isn't a part of the Legacy program. The Athlete Emergency Fund is to support athletes who are facing challenges, and this can be more information in the athlete page, which will be shared in the chat, I believe. And there, basically, it's the athlete commission who decides who will be supported. We will also develop the ambassadors program. We currently have 2 ambassadors, Sarah and Rio. Very glad to count them on board with the foundation for the support. And we're part of the sustainability working group of the ITTF group, which is under development. So, and a lot of these, all of these programs is very, very ambitious, and we're a small team. And we've all really developed really quickly, but we still have some targets that we want to reach this year. So there's some with public relations, which is more part of the strategy, learning from the past 2 years to build for the future. Then there's TT for All, where it's, well, Table Tennis Day, TT for All, which is, Tables for All, sorry, which is going to have a bit more priority and visibility this year. It will be more public and accessible in 2022. And ping pong diplomacy will be one of the big highlights. Hopefully Parkinson World Table Tennis Championships this year as well. And the call for the Dream Building Fund projects 2021 in the summer in Europe and mid-year 2021. So that's all for the outlook. And if you have any more questions or information on the content of what we do for the programs, all the information is on our website. You can also check out our annual report if you want to see what we've done last year and in the years before. And every quarter, for those who want to follow more regularly, what we do every quarter, we publish what we call a permanent report, which is accessible for everyone on our website as well. So now, time for questions. I don't know if I spoke too long or if we still have some time. I tried to rush through it so we have more time for questions. I'll stop sharing.
Perfect. Thank you very much for sharing this. This was a really great insight into your work and gives a really great background. So you were speaking a little bit about, legacy, and I was wondering, how do you ensure the legacy of your programs and their sustainable impact after the implementation?
Yeah, so maybe 2 or 3 points. Legacy is something that we now see more as sustainability. It's not just what is understood as legacy and what we leave behind, but changing that line of when we do a project and making sure it's part of our planning and not just something we add on to leave a positive mark, but really part of what we're doing. We cause no harm when we do projects. And then the biggest challenge, I guess, is that it depends on the program that we're doing. So there's no guarantee that we can leave a positive legacy, but we try and plan it in our programs. So there are programs where we just do relief, so emergency relief fund, athlete relief fund, even TT United to some extent, but most of the others, paying for Alzheimer's, Dream Building Fund, those are all projects where we really want to have an impact in the long term. So it's not something where we just want to do a one-off and then forget about it. It's something where the project comes from the grassroots, and that's the basis of what we do. It's not us deciding, hey, let's just go to a random place and do a project on women and girls or on health without knowing anything. It's really projects from the ground deciding, or people from a community saying, hey, I want to change this in my community. And that's the strength a little bit of the foundation as well. It's all the people who have really a dream to work towards table tennis, and we accompany and help them, and we try and advise them. And when we design the project with them, that's really when it starts, where we start to think about sustainability. And it's also why we started the Table for All program, where we realized that a lot of programs have issues with equipment, and that's one of the least sustainable parts, where they always ask for or need more equipment. So hope that answered the question.
Yeah, very well. Thank you. No. It's very good. It's very clear. You ensure the legacy by ensuring your programs are needed. That is quite obvious. Very, very good. And then you mentioned that you were looking at, individuals and communities that want to make a change. So how do you cooperate with these individuals or communities who want to make a difference and want to use table tennis as a tool for peace and development?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think maybe the diversity of all our programs and the range of all our programs is a bit of an answer to that. See where all the needs and the requests are. And we've had the chance to inherit all this history of the development department of ITTF from the past, where we've had a lot of requests. And so we could draw all that to understand. But basically, we have the requests that have been, but it's basically, we know there are people who want to do projects, there are people we know who want to promote activities, so we try and support everyone through different programs that we have. I think that the best way is to get in touch with us and see what's the best fit with what program. If it's a national association that's just had a disaster and it has an impact on it, then it's the emergency relief fund. If it's an athlete, then maybe it's the athlete relief fund. If it's COVID related, maybe it's TT United. If it's really wanting to make a change in the community that is linked to improving the community, changing a problem that is linked to development issues such as hunger or environment or women empowerment, or the Dream Building Fund. We really try and basically build opportunities for everyone within the table tennis.
Thank you very much. Kesha, I think you have a couple more questions.
Yes, thank you very much, Dora, and great, Karin, great presentation, many insights and information what ITTF Foundation is doing. I have a question. Actually, several times you mentioned the table tennis tables, handcrafted table tennis tables, and I'm really interested in this program. Can you explain a little bit more what are your plans, if you plan to introduce some relevant courses, and basically who can count on this education, because we know that the table tennis equipment, it's a great demand.
Yeah, I think it's a really I think long term it will be definitely one that people will understand the foundation more. It's from all the projects that we're leading who would benefit from it, and we see a lot of potential, a way for NGOs to maintain a table program through this. So there, what
We can't
you can
hear
see
you.
from the 2020 second, the sound. Can you hear me better?
We can't hear you really very clear right now. Can you try now? Yes, we can see only Julia right now on the screen.
Sorry, can you hear me?
Yes, very well.
Okay. Okay, yeah. We have to switch now a bit, so she's going right.
That's the solution. That's the solution. Yes. Yeah.
Sorry. We'll mute mine. So I think I'm back on mine as well.
Yeah, right now it's
Okay.
very well.
Sorry about that. Okay, can you hear me? Okay, sorry. The question was the table building course and its accessibility in the future.
Yeah.
So the short answer is that we have, yes, a plan to bring this out and for other people to access the course and be able to build their own tables. We really want to offer this to and offer this opportunity for anyone and everyone. However, how the course will be or how it will work and all the certification and the educational part, all the videos and the content is being made, but we still have to test. So 2021 will be a test year, hopefully. That's the plan, and then it won't. We don't plan to have it open until 2022. So yeah, it's something that we also will be happy to work with together with HPD, and so we're planning 2 tests this year. One just to see adapt it a little bit, and the second one together with the team from HPD and really to work together on how to best then spread it through the world.
I see. Thank you very much. Yes, I believe it's great potential in this area. So yeah. Actually, last question to Karin before we move to Julia. Yes, I would like to ask more about last year and also beginning of this year, how COVID situation, pandemic affects also your operations, your programs. Maybe there are some new also ideas for the future.
Yeah, it's definitely an interesting question this year and a nice one to reflect on from last year, even though it's still going on a lot in Europe at least. It was a bit of a year where it was hard to plan, or at least the plans had to adapt a lot. It was a bit of an adapter. One of the main things for the projects in the field was the issue of lockdown. So a lot of our projects were affected, and the coaches, and it's the same for the whole sports world and for many people even outside of the sports world. I think it was all around a tough year. We had the chance that we could also take a lot of things online. So working with the children in the field, not, but a lot of them also were happy to share from their mobile phones and do things. And once we realized the needs from the field and the problems that they were facing, so some of the projects, for example, the parents of the children going to school or having scholarship, the schools were closed. So one of the projects did a radio show sessions for the children in these schools. And so from all this came the idea of TT United, and to support all the people that were really struggling and really impacted through the COVID situation, and also wanted to bring solutions to this challenging time. So one of the first things that we really did in reaction to this time was TT United, and it was nice to also collaborate with ITTF and World Table Tennis. So it was a bit of a first ITTF group event together, which was also an exciting time. And then we also learned to do more things online. So one of the main things, and I think Julia will expand a little bit more on, it was also World Table Tennis Day, the edition from last year, which was not planned online in the first place and had to adapt really quick. So they did a really good job with that. And yeah, in general, I think we're learning, but we're also learning for our projects in the field. So one of the things that we also plan for the future is to help our projects share their stories from the field themselves from their mobile phone. So a lot of them have limited internet or issues, but we also want to help them be able to promote themselves better through online mediums. So I think for us, it's we're a grassroots organization. We're part of the table tennis family, and we really want to help the community grow and promote what great initiatives are going that is helping and that is working towards solidarity. And yeah, I think it's really shows that we have to adapt, and we have to adapt because everyone's facing different realities in the world, and that's part of our job in a way. But yeah, with maybe World Table Tennis Day, Julia can explain a little bit more of how she adapted last year, and maybe she can take that in the questions session later, or maybe you want to jump in now, I don't know.
Yeah, I can also jump in now.
Sorry.
Yeah, okay. Well, last year, yeah, we really had to adapt very quickly from a already planned main celebration in Tonga, which we had to cancel then. And then we invited people from everywhere to join from their homes, that they simply use the tools they have at home, because we could not expect everyone to have a racket, for example, at home, or a table tennis ball. I mean, of course, many people had, with how we, as we've seen in the videos shared. So yeah, we encouraged everyone to create with us the longest table tennis rally online, and yeah, we had really great videos, very creative also. It was fun to watch it, definitely. I think it was a good way to adapt to this situation and to ensure that everyone can stay safe at home.
Thank you very much. Karin, would you like to add anything, or that's
No, just thanks a lot to the team, and hi everyone. And if there are any questions, don't hesitate, and I'll be here also till the end. So don't hesitate to ask questions, even I think in the chat, because we also have support hiding on the side that I will decide to show. Kiara is helping us also.
Thank you very much for support.
She's sending the links and anything. So just drop us a line if you have any questions. We're happy to hear from the community.
All right. So thank you very much for presentation again, and for answering our questions. Yeah, we have better view for sure, and all our attendees, what ITTF Foundation is doing. And yeah, we are looking forward, of course, for World Table Tennis Day. So I'm sorry, Chiara, I would I would now move to Julia, and we will kindly ask her to share the presentation, and yeah, just bring us into the journey, I would say.
Yeah. Okay, but before we start, we want to do a little exercise with you. Yeah, so this is just something for you. So please think about the person who won the last singles World Table Tennis Championships. Maybe you remember. Just think a few seconds about it. I will give you some time. Yeah, and now if you have thought of a person, our question is now, did you think about a man or a woman winning the last World Table Tennis Championships? And I think a poll should come up now that you can vote if you thought of a man or a woman. Okay, giving you some time to vote. Okay, I think then we can close the vote now. Yeah, I hope I can see the results. Oh, actually, yeah. We actually realized it's actually surprising for us that 57% thought of a woman and only 43% thought of a man. Very good. We hope every one of you answered correctly. Yeah. No, we're just with this exercise, we just wanted to see how the audience, if there is a bias towards men and women. Yeah. Okay. But moving forward, so just to remind you where we are at now. So as Corinne mentioned before, the TT for All program. And within the TT for All program, we have the World Table Tennis Day, which is on April 6th, since 2015. So yeah, it is an event which we celebrate annually on April 6th, which is also marking the International Day of Sport for Development and Peace. And well, we just want to have this day to be socially inclusive. And we also want to use this as an excuse to celebrate our sport for one day. And well, the ultimate aim, of course, is to keep as many people as possible involved from diverse walks of life within our beloved sport, table tennis. Yeah, the World Table Tennis Day has 3 pillars. It is popularity, universality, and inclusiveness. So, of course, we want table tennis events with a high quantity of participants, but in terms of numbers and also of their potential. So also really creative events. Universality means also event locations. We have seen events in Canada in completely ice, and there was only 2 people celebrating. But we have seen also events in the middle of the city center, in a park or somewhere. And inclusiveness, this means that during this event can be offered activities to different kinds of target groups, and also you can reach a special target group that might usually not be reached through a mass participation event. And we just want everybody to participate and to motivate people to invite everyone. So generally it is a celebration of joy to play table tennis, and it focuses less on the competition and more on fun and participation. Of course, you can create the event like you want to do it, so you can also do some competitions there as well. This is really a decision taken by the organizers themselves, but we are always happy to help you and guide you. Here on the map, you can see actually the active the member associations from 2020, where we had active participants celebrating, and this was actually in 2020, so in the COVID-19 year. So even though we had to move over to a digital celebration, we had active participants from 171 member associations, which is very good, and the highest participation rate we had so far, so it was over 75%. Thanks again to all of you who participated. And yeah, this actually shows already the popularity of World Table Tennis Day. Okay, now moving to the FEMpowering part. This year we have decided to use the topic FEMpowerment and gender equality for the World Table Tennis Day. And for us, our vision is that we can encourage worldwide the table tennis community to work on female empowerment and equality. Before I move forward, I would like to show you a video.
Together.
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 Together. Women and girls just want to have fun. Fundamental human rights.
Together, we can smash intolerance out.
Help us.
No. Help your community.
Help your family. So, girls and women of the world,
Join the World Table Tennis Day movement.
To boys and men.
engage and support us, girls and women,
To join the World Table Tennis Day family on April 6, 2021.
using table tennis for FEMpowering.
FEMpowering.
FEMpowering. The pressure.
Yes, thank you very much for sharing the video. It was just to get you into the topic and also to see the diversity of all women and girls, of course, and also to see that it really is about fun. Yeah, with the World Table Tennis Day 2021, our mission is, as mentioned before, that we want to foster or support to contribute to the equality of all gender identities. So it means also to raise awareness of professional and social fairness and equal opportunities, which is not in every corner of the world already done. So and for us, FEMpowering means promoting inclusion and diversity, which for us are both a strength and not a threat. So yeah, and maybe also in the clubs or organizations you're in, you are facing a low female participation rate, and also through the COVID-19 pandemic, data shows an increase of violence against women and girls. And yeah, this is also a reason why we wanted to contribute to the UN Sustainability Development Goal 5 of gender equality. Yeah, but what we expect from it is we want, of course, people motivating others, especially females who usually don't play table tennis. And it is important to raise awareness and inclusiveness through their events, no matter if it's digital or physically. And yeah, through engaging more females, it would also help them to increase their own self-esteem and the confidence and develop skills and yeah, also regarding performance and leadership opportunities. Yeah. We also have a promoters initiative just set up to increase the impact in the communities, because we are here in Leipzig, and of course people from their own country and community know their community better. So we hope that this can have a better impact, that they can share the World Table Tennis Day values also of inclusiveness, and that they organize a World Table Tennis Day event, and that they can also motivate others, especially women and girls, to join. And yes, just take actions towards gender equalities in their own community. And yeah, our part here is that, well, we give you the tools to promote table tennis and tackle this social issue, and we want to guide you through it. And therefore we, for example, have a bi-weekly newsletter coming out, and yeah, there you can get very useful tips and think about how you can include women and girls. Good. Okay, now we would like to have another poll, because we're not really sure if every one of you already has an idea of World Table Tennis Day or has involved. So would like that you answer now. Have you ever been involved in a World Table Tennis Day either as a participant or as an organizer. And the poll should come now. We give you some time. And again, this is anonymous, so just okay. Okay, we can close the poll now, I think, because it's an easy question. Yeah, and it's really nice to see that even 90% of you have already been involved in the World Table Tennis Day. Thank you very much. We hope to see you again active in 2021 on April 6th. So yeah, join us. And yeah, of course, this also leads to the question how we can celebrate in times of COVID-19, because many people in different countries and territories are still in lockdown or have limitations to really organize a big event of 500 people or whatever, or even celebrating inside. So yeah, of course, you can do your event online, which you can also share with your community. So you can do some coaching sessions, for example. Preferably here, you can have a woman or a mixed gender coaching team to show, again, female leadership and also make it maybe a bit interactive. You can also present some technical aspects, and well, if you need to get inspired, then HPD definitely has very interesting and useful coaching webinars on their YouTube channel. You can also think about, because well, World Table Tennis Day should also be about physical activity, to do a workout session online. And there you can also make it a bit interactive. For example, for the warm-up, you say to everyone, one should come up with a warm-up exercise. But you can also give educational lessons. Maybe in your community you have an NGO which is related to FEMpowering. Maybe they can also give you some lessons also for personal skills enhancement. Yeah, so get creative. Also, you can create a certificate of participation, that people feel valued, that they joined your event. Of course, you can participate the online sessions we are just working on. You can also try to play simultaneously. Maybe make a contest out of it, like who can do the best trick with table tennis at home, who can bounces the ball the longest, but also having different tasks. They're like back and forehand, bouncing the ball while sitting down and standing up, turning around. You can also play against, make this contest with teams, or you can also just challenge maybe a friend from another country or territory. Yeah, and you can also do it like the ILS ice bucket challenge, that you just challenge others through the internet. Yeah, and to keep in mind the FEMpowering topic, it would also be great if your participants would be at least 51% of women or girls. And here again, you can invite a friend of yours, your sister, your mother, grandmother, a female neighbor, or yeah, whoever you can think of. But of course, for those who are lucky and can maybe also go outside, depending of course on the weather, but yeah, so this is also the advantage, that it's also healthier and not only COVID-19 related. I mean, not to have crowded people in indoor at the moment. Here it is very good if you prepare COVID-19 rules. So explain them before you start, maybe even before you start the event. So send them a couple of days ago, and also make them visible, that for example, it's good to wear a mask over nose and mouth, and also the 1.5 to 2 meters distance between each other. Also, you can separate the groups plus the responsible person. You can mark the areas which is for one person. You can use outdoor. You can also use more space. But then you can also set a time frame per group so that you really know who interacted with who, so that you can know that in case there is a COVID-19 contamination in one of the groups, you can alarm them and don't have, for example, if you were thinking about 100 people, that you then have in the first hour you have 20 and then so on and so forth. Yeah. Okay. This is it from my side. Yeah, I hope you had some nice insights from us.
I have a question that
Yes,
connects
of course.
with the last one. So this year, how is the response so far to the World Table Tennis Day? And after last year's, as you mentioned, quite special World Table Tennis Day, what kind of events or what type of events are the most popular this year?
Okay. Well, at the moment, there are not that many events that have been registered, but from our experience in the past year, this is very, very normal at this stage because most of the event registrations will come by the end of March or the beginning of April. So, yeah, we're still optimistic. So I think at the moment it's like something around 100 events registered. Yeah, and especially during times of COVID-19, I can imagine that many people, including past organizers, who also maybe even have participated each year, that they are not really sure if they can celebrate, or at least can't celebrate in the original way of having a big event. But maybe after this webinar, they now have some ideas, or through our newsletters. Yeah, and also like last year, people can celebrate from home or in a digital way. So yeah, COVID-19 should not stop us. And well, the most
No, it won't. Regarding the type of events, have you gotten more so far, more online events or more what you mentioned, outdoor or more community based? I imagine it's still mostly online, probably, right?
It's actually quite hard to say because well, some are still not sure. You can also see it in the event registration from our promoters initiative. We have realized that I think around 40% are still trying to do it a physical event, and like 25 to 30% were thinking about a blended approach, which means having sort of a physical celebration, but also join it with a digital celebration. And we had like roughly 15% who wanted to do a digital device, and the rest was just not sure yet. So yeah, and so even if you have registered your event, you can always contact us and say, okay, I have to change it now due to COVID, so I'm doing it in a digital way now. So yeah,
you're flexible.
Yeah.
Okay, and for the World Table Tennis Day, you rely quite heavily on your promoters. So is there any specific profile of promoters that you're looking for, and what do you expect from them, and how do you empower them?
Yeah.
So could I be a promoter?
Sorry, can you repeat?
Could I be a promoter or
Of course. Of course, everyone is welcome to join. The most important thing is that you have an organization supporting you. So there has to be an organization nominating a person. And also the person doesn't have to have an immense table tennis background. But yeah, the person should just be really empathetic and trying to motivate others to join this event. And of course, as the topic is female empowerment, would be great a woman would be the nominee, but this should not exclude people from another gender identity. But in general, we think it's a good opportunity for them to increase their self-esteem, taking charge of something, and getting into this leading position. Well, the important thing for us is that the promoters' focus is on contributing to gender equality and female empowerment in their community. So they should definitely be interested in doing something good, and being open-minded also, and sharing World Table Tennis Day as a fun experience. And well, what we expect from them is, as we also would like to measure kind of the impact of their event, we want promoters to provide us a status report on the gender balance situation in their organization before and after the event. And also a celebration report. But the celebration report is more in form of sharing photos and videos of their event with us, and also with some small details like how many participants they have reached, and how many female participants they have reached. And we try to empower them through guiding them, first of all, through our bi-weekly newsletter, which is still open to everyone as it is published on our website. And in addition to this, we have already conducted with the first promoters a webinar only for them, so that we can also get to know them personally and not only by email or WhatsApp. And also through this, we wanted to create a network between them, and if they have any questions, they're always open or welcome to send it to us.
Great. Yeah. Thank you very much. And maybe I'll be in touch.
We're looking forward to see your application.
I'll ask my employer.
Yeah, I'm keen on as well.
Very good.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much, Dora and Julia. And another question from my side. It will be more about FEMpowering. So I would like to ask how the fact of being in table tennis, in sport in general, can FEMpower girls and women in their lives, like either personal or professional life?
Yes, definitely. So as I mentioned before already, it definitely can increase their self-esteem and confidence if they learn how to play table tennis. They can develop skills through it and knowledge, and boost their participation and performance and leadership. And also through table tennis, they can build friendships, no matter to which person of which gender. So, for example, if you give them a responsibility, for example, making them a captain for a team's game, or invite them to suggest exercises like a warm-up exercise, etc., that would be really good to increase their self-esteem. But here, of course, don't force them to do it, because this, of course, can also then have a detrimental effect. Above this, they can also teach lessons about equality and teamwork and resilience or fairness, some kind of these values. And it puts opposition into a positive framework and helps to develop focus and drive and passion for something. And especially in times like these of COVID-19, table tennis programs, I think, are highly helpful in reducing social isolation, particularly for women and girls coming from backgrounds such as poverty or displacement. And it allows them to emerge from confining communities or families. Above this, if you have, for example, only sessions with women and girls, you can help overcome them, and at least or I think especially in the beginning. So if they're going to a table tennis session for their first time, it might help them overcome fears and hesitation if there are only women or girls included.
Yeah. Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you. Thank you very much.
If I can just add,
Of course.
something. Sorry, Yulia and Chiara both were often work on, and Romina, on the Inspirational Women series, and you can see these are articles interviewing women in table tennis, and I think it's very relevant also for this question because you can see through their story how table tennis has impacted them, and I think putting a spotlight on that also would be really interesting. So if anyone wants to hear more or witness more how it has impacted people's lives, these are really good examples of that.
Yeah, great.
Thanks.
Yeah, great insight, actually. I also think table tennis shape character and our lives in general.
Yes,
Yeah,
definitely.
thank you. I'm passing to Dora for the next question.
Thank you. So what are some of the ways that an individual can contribute to gender equality in table tennis, or actually sport in general? And kind of connected with that, how can they educate themselves about gender balance? Have you got any?
Yeah, I mean, some ways, for example, I'm always a fan of talking to the people you're thinking of. So talk to the women and girls and include them. And because women and girls also bring vital skills and resources and experiences to the table, and they must be able to contribute to the decisions and actions that affect their lives too. So having conversations with the people and also the young people you're working with, for example, of all gender identities, and this also does not include this also includes men and boys. So you also have to get the conversation on with men and boys, for example, and don't assume that what people want, need, or look for. Just ask them and listen to them in order to create a meaningful engagement and adapting to the environment. And there I also think it is really important to create a safe space, for example, in a table tennis club. So also for these conversations, but also for example, for a training. So what helps is also that that especially young girls have a female role model, so like a female coach, because it is easier for them to open up to them and to be themselves, and when they're talking to people of the same gender or to people who have faced the same experiences or struggles, then it's just easier to interact with them. Yeah, and I think also if for the woman, for example, who is then a coach, it is also important for her as she will also enhance her personal skills, for example. Other opportunities, I think it is also important to provide opportunities to success as early as possible, also in mixed groups, so that boys and girls can compete against each other, and that this way also boys have to understand it doesn't matter if you lose against a boy or a girl, and for girls it is really important that they realize that, or that everyone knows that girls just wanted to be treated as equals. Another thing I find really important is the language. So we unfortunately have quite a lot of negative stereotypes, like, oh, you throw like a girl, or don't cry, you're a boy, something like that. And this is definitely not helping. So because I remember we had also a newsletter with the headline, "Spin it like a girl" or "Play it like a girl," which actually comes from the phrase "you throw or run like a girl." And we were just trying to turn that around. So because it's also that males are also actually try to imitate women's table tennis techniques, and just literally they try to play like a girl, but this is nothing bad or weak. It's just on the contrary. And yeah, just make sure that there's that to show the people, no matter of the gender, that it is no weakness on being a girl, especially not in a sport like table tennis, which requires more skills and techniques than muscles and bulk. Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you very
Corinne
much.
wants to try something.
Thank you. No, great. Thank you.
I could jump in. No, I also think I want to relate to the questions in the chat as well. But I think one of the things that strikes me when Yulia answers is also that I think one of the biggest challenges is that even in all our work with the foundations is that we're not born equal. We're the country we're born, the gender we're born. It's clearly we're not born equal. However, what we're trying to do is to have equal opportunities, and in order to do that, then we have to target and we have to address this bias that is constant and in the media and everywhere we do, and it's also our responsibility when we show. I mean, World Table Tennis is doing a great job, and they've committed to paying women and men the same amount and for prize money, and so things like that. These decisions that we can make is also really important on this level, and I think how we portray women even in the field projects or in what we do is really important. So it's not just giving them a voice, which is great, and what we're doing this whole entire month, but it's also trying and challenge this bias. But this brings me also to the question from Maisa, who, and maybe I don't know if everyone can see the question. I'll just read it. After the World Table Tennis Day, will there be a continuing anything continuing concerning FEMpowering? How will you be working on the UN SDG goal number 5, which is gender equality? From Maisa, from Lebanon, who is a promoter, I believe. Yeah. Hi, Maisa. Oh, and the UN Young Leader. Congratulations. I was the young leader. And really good question, Maisa. And I think, well, first of all, what you're doing and pushing the envelope and applying to things and taking on responsibilities as a volunteer or on different levels is definitely a great step for that. What we are doing, and in general, what grows the foundation is also input from other people. So what I mentioned also when I presented the foundation is we react also to the people we work with. So we're very grassroots in the sense that ideas, we're very open and we want to adapt to the needs of the community in a way and improve the community through table tennis. So we realize even through our projects, Dream Building Fund project leaders were all male in the first year. The second year, this year, we will have 2 projects on gender equality. So we also are learning, and we're also learning that we have our own bias that we also need to learn and deal with. I think the first thing is really to say there is a problem, and that's what we're doing this year. And in the future, hopefully, this is something where we can continue to address through our programs. There won't be World Table Tennis Day. We haven't planned for it to continue on this topic, but we're shedding light on it, and then we're going to see how it develops in the future. But it's also going to be really interesting what the promoters have as feedback, what the events bring as feedback, because we can also grow something from this program together. So it's really not like the foundation decides or we have plans alone in our little island, but we're really encouraging people to help us also bring this and build this future together. Thanks.
Thank you very much. And I guess you just kicked off a question and answer session with the audience. So I'll just ask you the next one that we have from Naresh Raval from Nepal. And he is interested to know if you could advise how to convince poor parents to allow a child to play if a child's very talented, but they have some financial restrictions.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Sorry if I started this too early.
No, that's totally fine. You actually did well because, we're already quite at the end. Very well.
Thanks a lot, Naresh. I think from the foundation, so maybe actually Katja and Dora have an HPD answer to your question, but on the foundation side, we would say, okay, if the problem is that it's the financial aspect, so do they live under the poverty line, and what's the situation like? And we have examples of projects that are looking to, for example, improve education and ensure that more children go to school through table tennis. So if they're talented, then they can get scholarships, and they're trying to build that so that the children can go to education. But if the children are, let's say, if the children get to a good level and they're talented and they grow as a professional player, let's say, and they manage to get in that strand, we are really happy. But it's not the target of our programs, so it's a bit of a consequence sometimes from our programs because they do play table tennis regularly. But it's not what we're aiming for. It's good to have, let's say. If it happens, it's great for them and it changes their lives for sure. But let's say if we look at the percentage of people who will, let's say, make it to the top, and those who just will take part, but it will still change their lives. So women and girls, for example, and confidence and education. That's what we're targeting more. So it depends. So it's not so much about convincing the parents. But I also wanted to mention one of the projects we have in Uganda, well, 2 projects we have in Uganda who are working on education. They the community they're working in is now convinced of the power of table tennis because they've seen kids in their community. And a lot of them go to school and didn't used to go to school because they play table tennis. So they go to school, but they go because they're not allowed to play table tennis if they don't go to school. So we can also build programs, and we can see the program that you do because it solves the problem. For your example, it might be poverty, then it would also then convince them. So we tackle really the root of the problem, and maybe not look so much at performance. I don't know if that answers the question, but I hope so.
I hope so too. Naresh, hope it answered your question. I think it was a very good answer. So, Kesha, I think I'll pass over to you again.
Thank you very much to all of you. Maybe I will just complement the answer for Maisa, because what will be the continuation, right? So yes, in the development plan, we have the incentives, and really we observe this gender balance across our programs, also having specific specific activities targeted women, but also I want to mention our national assistance program towards women's table tennis development called My Gender, My Strength. So I hope that's also will be a great continuation of World Table Tennis Day. Yes, I would like to ask last but not least question to Julia. Since the International Women's Day is approaching, as well as World Table Tennis Day, I would like to ask what are other plans for the very near future related to FEMpowering?
Yeah, that's a very good question. We actually have a picture I will quickly share. So here you can see all of the FEMpowering activities of us, the foundation, and also of the HPD, because, well, we joined forces. And well, first of all, from our side, it started already 2 days ago. The Inspirational Women campaign, which is focusing on our sharing quotes and of women, of inspirational women, and also our Inspirational Women series, which is a set of interviews where we highlight women from our table tennis community, and well, those who have proved themselves in the male-dominated world and who choose to go beyond and above. Then we have also started a photo campaign for social media, the FEMpowering campaign, which where we want women and girls to strike a powerful pose and showing their proudness and and also people from another gender identity can just show how they can support or how they want to support a woman. So, for example, just pose with another woman or write on your arm #FEMpowering, and then would be great to use it to use the hashtag FEMpowering on World Table Tennis Day. And also we have a workshop with the partner Tafisa on 8th of March, but which is from our side, the most important thing is of course, April 6th. But before that is we have also on 8th of March, the International Women's Day at 3 p.m. Central European Time. We have a conference on gender equality and FEMpowering in table tennis, where, as you can see on this picture, we have joined forces with HPD. And we have very high-profile panelists, so also from IOC. I can share with you directly another picture that you can see all the panelists. Okay.
Or you can sign up to the newsletters as well, and you get all the info. It's really great.
Yes, of course, yeah. Sign up to the newsletter, yeah. But also register to this conference. It will be very interesting, and it also has a public Q&A session. And to see you there too. Yeah, Kasia, I hope that answers your question.
Yes, sounds like a busy month.
Yes.
That's really positively busy. Also, maybe I would just, if you already mentioned initiatives, I would just very shortly mention HPD initiatives as well. So we are planning to have a special episode for International Women's Day. It's a weekly training lesson called Masters of Skill. Staying with the videos, we plan to have also, but this is for World Table Tennis Day, 6th of April, ITTF High Performance Training Camp video. And throughout the month, FEM campaign, which will consist virtual interviews series with outstanding women in table tennis. Thank you for sharing, Julia.
You're welcome. Also very keen to see all of your campaigns.
Yeah, you actually every week I will have a different theme. So yes, it will be interesting and some diversity as well in the panelists.
Oh, very good.
Thank you very much. We a little bit extend this webinar, but it was really interesting to hear all the insights, all the informations, points of view, and I hope we empower a bit our table tennis family today, and we will be still doing that at least till 6th of April. But again, we are not going to stop. We are really committed to empower women as well as observe a gender balance. So yeah, just we look forward to the month and beyond. Yes, then from my side, I would like to thank you very much to Julia, Karin, and whole ITTF Foundation team, because we know that there are also colleagues working behind the scenes, and everyone contributes. I would like to thanks also to Dora, to our colleagues from ITTF HPD, and to our today's attendees, and everyone really who contributes to FEMpowering as well. that's all actually from my side. I will pass to my colleague right now. So thank you very much again.
Thank you very much as well for having us.
Thank you from my side as well. Thank you, Julia. Thank you, Corinne. Thank you, everyone at the ITTF Foundation. And I'm really looking forward to all the FEMpowering initiatives coming our way, and I hope you all are too. See you on the 8th of March on International Women's Day. So thank you very much for joining today, and have a good week. Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.